Hi, Latin 2 students. Thank you guys for helping me with your last assignment and submitting those to me. You guys did a great job with that. You're making this first week easier, so I appreciate it. I wanted to pop in today and go through the next assignment I gave you, which is exercise C. Comparison can get a little tricky, so I'm going to describe each sentence, talk about the grammar, any vocabulary issues, and obviously tell you what the translation was. So go over your assignment and compare what I give to what you translated. You should be translating this before we go over it because that's the way that you'll get better with this. So make sure you've done that before you watch this video. You can also, if there's still a couple that you just have a little question on, usually I can take your questions during class and everything. I can't do that right now. But if you have a question about one, pop into my office hours. I've already seen a couple of you in my office hours. And you can just say, hey, what's up with this sentence? Or I have a little question here, and I can help you with those. Okay, so this was exercise C on page 191. And let me go over what I got with you guys. So the first one is Haec via brevior est, quod montes pauci sunt. So this one we should have, here we are, excuse me. Haec via brevior est, quod montes pauci sunt. This road is rather short because the mountains are few. Now here we have brevior, which is the comparative form of brevis, which means short. That's why we're saying rather short. Now why don't we translate this as shorter? Because it's not really being compared to anything here. So rather short makes a little bit more sense. And then quod is a conjunction meaning because, so it's called a causal clause after that. So why is the road rather short? Because the mountains are few, okay? All right, what else here? All right, so look over number one. With these videos, you can always pause if you need a sec to go back and listen to what I said again, or to make sure your translation is correct before you go on, okay? Let's see if I can get to the next one. Number two, iter a mea villa ad urbem reginae est longissimum. This one has several important prepositional phrases in it. And notice how the adjective here, longissimum, each time you see an adjective, you should think to yourself, what degree is that adjective? This adjective is superlative, okay? So the route from my farmhouse to the Queen City is very long. Longissimum is the superlative here, and so that's why we're calling it very long, okay? And your two prepositions, from my farmhouse to the Queen City. Okay. Iter is neuter, it's a neuter noun, and that's why the ending of your adjective here is also neuter, longissimum. Number three, gladii utiliores quam libri improelio sunt. Okay, so remember gladii means swords, not gladiators, right? So gladii sunt utiliores. I know this is modifying this because it's got that plural ending, and this is also a nominative masculine plural ending. So swords are more useful than books in battle. Now this one's actually comparing one thing to another. More useful than books. So because this is comparative, that lets me know that quam is very likely meaning than here because of the comparative here. Okay, so swords are more useful than books in battle. All right, let's take a look at number four. De monte altiore nostri amici castra hostium diligenter spectamunt. For this one, I came up with our friends were looking carefully down from the rather tall mountain at the enemy's camp. Okay, the key to this one is de monte altiore. These words are ablative, so they go together. So it's down from a rather tall mountain. Okay, again, taller doesn't make quite as much sense here just because there's nothing it's being compared to specifically in the sentence. Okay, what else do we have here? Diligenter. If that one confused you, remember adding inter to a third declension adjective makes it into an adverb. Also, the verb here is imperfect, spectabant, so that's why I translated it as the friends were looking. Okay, and your subject is amici, which is nominative plural. Okay, so look over that one, see if you got it, or if you have anything to correct on it. Number five, leges nostrae aequiores, legibus Germanorum sunt. This one has something pretty important in it. So the laws, our laws, excuse me, are more just than the laws of the Germans. Now what's so important about this sentence? Notice how there's no word quam here. So where is the than coming from, right? Well, more just, legibus. Notice how this is ablative. That's our new construction, the ablative of comparison, right? You can use an ablative here in place of quam, and that's exactly what's happening. So when you see a comparative and you see an ablative right after it, it's very likely going to be translated as than something. And then Germanorum genitive, so that's why it's the laws of the Germans. All right. Aequiores is modifying leges, that's why they both have to be nominative plural. Okay, so hopefully you got that one pretty well. About number 6, Judices notissimi cum filiis et filiabus ad nostram urbem venient. For this one, make sure you got the tense here. What tense is this verb? Future tense, because this verb is fourth conjugation, so the ENT denotes the future. So very famous judges, superlative right here, very famous judges will come to our city with sons and daughters. So notissimi is superlative, that's why we call them very famous judges. And then here we have an ablative accompaniment with their sons and daughters. Okay, all right, so that's number 6. Make sure you got the future verb there. Number 7, hic lapis a fortiori quam te iactus est. This might have been one of the more challenging ones in the assignment. There's just a little bit to the translation here. But hic lapis, this stone, was thrown by a stronger one than you. Now, what's tricky about this sentence? This stone was thrown. Here's the perfect passive verb. The tricky part here, a fortiori, means stronger, but it doesn't have a noun with it. There's no ablative noun here. So what does that mean? Well, that's always meant that the adjective is acting like a substantive, which means the adjective is acting like a noun. So here, that's why I said by a stronger one. You could have said by a stronger man or a stronger person. You could have said that here. I just decided to translate like this, but just make sure you know that this adjective is actually behaving as a noun here. And then stronger one than you. Again, that's where the quam comes in to mean than. Okay. So that was a little tricky, but hopefully that explanation helped you out there. Paucis diebus copiae amplissimae ad fines barbarorum iter longissimum fecerunt. All right. Paucis diebus. What construction here? We've learned this one before. Probably ablative within which, right? Because it's ablative. So within a few days, the very large forces made a very long march to the territory of the foreigners. Now in this one, we have 2 superlatives: copiae amplissimae, very large forces, and then they made a very long march. Longissimum here is the superlative going with iter. I'm translating this as march. Usually it's journey, but in this military context, that can oftentimes mean march. Okay. This is also a substantive, like we just talked about, because barbarus technically means strange or foreign, but here, since it's used alone, there's no noun for it to agree with. I took that it probably meant foreigners or people from a foreign land. Number 9, filii mei certe diligentiores quam tui sunt. Okay, this one has a comparative in it. There's a quam right after it, so of course that's going to mean than, but let's see what's happening here. My sons are certainly more careful than yours. So one little trick here is if you were confused by tui, what's happening there is it's implied that sons is being said again, right? So my sons are certainly more careful than yours. We don't need to see filii here repeated. Latin wouldn't do that. Even in English, we probably would not repeat that, right? In English, we would say, my car is cooler than yours. We don't necessarily have to say my car is cooler than your car. Usually we don't repeat the same word here. So same thing in Latin, they often wouldn't repeat the word if it's clearly that's what's applied again. Okay. This can't mean you because it's not a pronoun, it's an adjective. Okay. Certe, what form is certe? Well, that's the adverbial form of the adjective, right? When you add an E to it, it's an adverb. So my sons are certainly more careful or more diligent than yours. Keep in mind with all these sentences, there's little variations where you might be correct if you don't have it exactly like me, right? There's obviously problems where it could be wrong, but like, for example, this word means careful. It can also mean diligent. So if you translate this as more diligent, that's obviously not a big problem. That's just how languages are, where there's sometimes multiple ways to translate something correctly. And the final one here, let's see if you got it. Fortissimi Germanorum ad regem potentem missi sunt. We see the superlative adjective here, so hopefully you got that part. The bravest of the Germans were sent to the powerful king. Now for this one, make sure you didn't translate them the bravest Germans. Why not? What case is this? Germanorum is genitive, so it's actually a partitive genitive. Not all the Germans, but the bravest of the Germans were sent, this is passive, to the powerful king. Yes. What else here? This word is potens potentis, which is a third declension adjective we learned before, meaning powerful. Notice how the verb here, that's passive, agrees in gender number case with the subject, right? It's nominative, masculine, plural. Okay. So I tried to break each sentence down as best I could. Obviously, I can't take your questions specifically, but I do encourage you guys, pop by my office hours, see me. I enjoy talking with you, and I can go over any, just one or multiple sentences here, or you can just ask me some general questions if you have them about the chapter. Okay. This weekend, you guys have been working hard this week. I've decided not to give you like a weekend assignment, like sometimes we might do, but it's been a big week, a long week, and you guys have kind of been learning to do this new system with all your teachers. And for me, you guys have been doing very well, so I appreciate it. So I'm gonna give you guys not an assignment this weekend, but I will be back on Monday with your next lesson. Okay. So make sure you guys are keeping in touch with me and popping into my office hours. And hope you have a great weekend. Hope your families are doing well, and we'll meet again on Monday. Okay. Have a great weekend.